Good morning. Find yourself a place on the floor. Figure out how to get comfortable. And as you get comfortable, start asking yourself which side is giving into the floor a little bit easier. Is it the whole right side versus the whole left side? Or is it the lower body on the right and the upper body in the left, or vice versa? And we'll take a minute or two to separate this time from all other times. I'm sure you've been busy this morning already, and you will be busy afterwards. But if you can give yourself the time for this, like a little present that you allow yourself to be indulgence and just to pay attention to yourself. Not others, not the to-dos, not the before, not the after. And as you are here and now, notice which body part is screaming the loudest, or the most resistant. And instead of fighting against the resistance, allow it. Easier said than done. And we're going to take a little journey today to see if we can find a way to allow the body parts to be a little bit more comfortable with themselves, with the relationship within the body and with the ground. So I'm going to ask you to bend one knee, drag the foot up with the knee pointing outwards, and drag the leg nice and slow until it feels like maybe you want to turn the knee up towards the ceiling and put the foot on the ground. And then let the leg go, just let it drop down to the ground. So, and again, just allow the leg to drag as if somebody's have a string on your knee and they're pulling that string with the knee pointing out until there's a place when the leg can turn and the knee will point up towards the ceiling. And then you let the leg go bloop, all the way back down to straight. And again, somebody is pulling a string on your knee. The knee is pointing out to the side. You're dragging the leg inside the hip socket until the knee points up towards the ceiling, and then you let the leg go whoop, straight back down. So there's a very distinct difference between the dragging the leg, being pulled by an imaginary string, coming to the outside, making half a circle until the knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. So that's one sensation. To the letting go, dropping the legs back down. So just work with that. With the dragging, with the knee pointing out and the foot is being dragged until the knee finds its way towards the ceiling, and the letting go of the leg. And ask yourself, what is the difference between the passivity, the passiveness, being dragged, like you're not in charge, to actually lifting the knee up towards the ceiling. There's a little bit of an effort and you deciding to do that. And you have to find where is the most comfortable place to do it. To the letting go, blop. So actually I see three very distinct chapters to the movement. Passive, being dragged. Finding the openness to lift the leg. Finding the placement of the foot on the floor and the knee up towards the ceiling. And the letting go so it can just flop. Keep on playing with it and pay attention to the areas that you need to pay attention. Maybe the dragging and being passive is the place for you. Maybe it's finding where in the hip, the openness, how much I have to drag and how to bring the knee up. Or the alignment of the knee over the foot when you get up to vertical. Or maybe the letting go. What is your inner conversation with those different parts of the story? How is your body organizes itself to do each one of those parts of the movement? Maybe you don't need to drag the leg all the way up like a frog. Maybe you want to drag it just 5 inches. Maybe you want to just roll around your ankle.
I'm sorry, are we trying to do this without pain? Is that
Yes.
what we're trying to do?
Yes, you're trying to find the most ease. So I'm going to be going now and I'm actually going to do it for you. Try to be very, very passive. You're trying to find a way where the whole body can organizes itself with its ease and pleasure. And even if you can do a big movement, try to do tiny little movement and find out how does your body organizes itself with a small movement. When the dragging, don't do, let me do. Don't do, let me do. There is a pull, there is a push. How can you find a place where the underneath the knee is completely relaxed? Maybe you need to do the movement with more passiveness. Maybe your hip needs to be involved more. Each one of you has a different story. Don't do. Don't do.
All right.
Don't do.
Okay.
You're doing. Yeah, you're doing. Go to sleep.
Okay.
There, go to sleep. So what you're trying to find out is the connectivity between the heel, the knee and the hip.
Okay.
How much space do you have in the joint here? When is the time to turn the leg? So instead of just doing the movement like you're trying to do 10,000 steps, you're trying to figure out more and more information.
Will we try it on the other side?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to move to the other leg. But before you go to the other leg, just lay for a second and give yourself maybe 30 seconds to compare between the side that worked to the side that didn't work. How does your back feels on that side? How does the hip feels on that side? How does the leg feel on that side? Is there a different sensation of heaviness or lightness between the two sides? And when you're ready, then go to the other side. And again, find different ways to work with the other side, from very, very small to maybe just for the sense of sensation to the biggest movement you can do. And then go into the places where you can find more and more information about how the whole body, your whole side is shifting as the leg turns out, how it's shifting back to the center when the knee comes up towards the ceiling. And in your mind, think that you're going to be doing it for hours and hours and hours, as if you're steering a boat and you want it to be nice and easy and pleasurable.
Turning out this leg at all is very painful in my hip.
So then just do it in your mind's eye. Just follow it in your mind's eye. As if you were to start. Didn't you do this leg already?
I did, but it's just very painful whenever it goes out. It hurts right in here. I mean, I can slide it up without pain, but I can't move it over to the side without pain.
Show me what you can do without pain,
I can do this,
but not to the side, not
not
to
to the
turn.
side at all, no.
Does this bring pain?
Yes.
Does this bring pain when I push here?
A little bit, not like when I try to turn my leg out.
Okay, good. So just rest for a second and we'll continue in a minute. Okay, and go ahead and rest at the center. Let your body just hang out there for a second and take in, allow the brain to kind of compute what has been done. And go ahead and bring both legs up to standing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the pelvis, the hip, half a circle as if we were dragging the leg. So you're gonna go from the bottom of your pelvis towards your right, coming up on the side of the pelvis without leaving the floor. You are laying on the floor, going up to the right side of the pelvis. The left side is almost not touching the floor, but it is still laying. You keep on rounding up and up and up and up until you get to your belly button. And then stop everything and just let the pelvis rest. Again, you start from the bottom of your pelvis. You're circling, you are going on the outside of your pelvis towards the right, as if it was like if the bottom of your pelvis was the hour 6 on a clock, and you're moving towards 5 and towards 4 and up to the right side to number 3 and continue to number 2 and to number 1 and number 12, and then let the pelvis rest. And again, from 6 to 5, the knees are not moving, it's the pelvis. The knees are not moving, the pelvis alone. You're going around and you're not really lifting the pelvis. You're trying to stay flat, but you're going around and around. So from 6, you're going up towards 12 and relaxing. So it's a very small.
Oh, okay.
So from 6 to 5 and 3 and 2 and 1 and 12 and relaxing. So you're making half a circle on the right. Try to slow it down as if you're making a braille clock. You're trying to create letters for somebody blind to put their fingers on it. So each number from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to 12 needs to be very clear. And rest when you get to the 12. And now shift your pelvis to 12 and go from the top to the bottom to 1, to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6. Now the half circle doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be small. But try different things, and when you get to 6, relax. And shift again to the number 12. How far is your number 12? You decide. And from there, keep the circle the same size that you've started, and smooth it out. So when the blind person puts their fingers, they don't get scratches, there's no nicks. The circle is very, very round and very smooth besides the letters. And when you get to 6, you relax. And take the time before you shift to 12. Is it too much for you?
I need to get some ice for here, just really painful.
Okay. If you want to do it in sitting, you can do it in sitting as well. In a chair.
I just need to get some ice, because this is really bad right now. I just can't stand the pain.
All right. Do you know what the pain is from?
It's these groin muscles.
Hold on for a second. Let me try something.
I'm sorry?
Lie down for a second and try to release it for you. And when you get to the end, lengthen your legs and rest for a minute. Compare between the two hips. And when you're ready, we'll do the other leg, the other side. Is that hurting?
No, it doesn't hurt. It's starting to hurt back here now. Just like all the support for this leg is really painful.
So we're starting from 12. We're starting from 6, going into 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Both legs are standing, both knees are up towards the ceiling. And you're making half a circle, trying to smooth it. Make it very elegant, very comfortable. Is anything changing?
I'm sorry?
Is anything changing in the level of pain?
I think it's less.
Try different sizes of the circle, half circle. Notice what your feet are doing, the bottom of your feet as you're circling. Are there the weight circles on the foot, just like on the hip? Is your head circling, just like your hip is circling? And when you're ready, we'll start from 12, going to 11 and 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6.
That spot especially is really painful right in here.
So this is a tendon of the muscle here.
It's what?
It's the tendon, it's the end of the muscle that
Yeah.
goes into the leg.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest that the rest of the class you do only in your mind's eye, but don't move your body. Just listen to my words and do it as if inside you, but without actually moving.
Okay.
Are you allowing your head, your nose, your chin to move with the movement of the pelvis? The knees are not moving, the legs are not moving, is the pelvis moving underneath, but you feel the weight shifting on the, underneath your foot.
I just don't know what to do. I've just gotten so discouraged about this.
I'll show you what to do.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put this underneath your knees.
Underneath my knee?
Yeah, this one too.
Okay.
Okay. You lie like this every day, twice a day, for at least 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
What happens is, right now you're in a different configuration that your brain knows, and just let the brain adjust to this different. You don't have the pain right now?
It's less.
It's less.
And there's a little pain on
How about
this
here?
part.
Is it better now, when a little closer?
It's just so hard right there. It just hurts so much.
Try to find a place that it hurts the least, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna continue with the
Okay,
class.
thank you.
Okay, so we have both legs, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Let's have our arms up towards the ceiling as well. And we're gonna move the right arm up and the left arm up. The right arm up, alternated between the right and the left. Lifting the shoulder and dropping the shoulder very, very gently. So don't lift the shoulder as far as you can go. Just kind of like take it up, like if somebody's pulling and letting go, pulling and letting go. Good. And now we're going to do the same thing with the pelvis and the knee. Pull up, let go, pull up, let go, pull up, let go, pull up, let go. So right hip up, left hip up, right hip up, left hip up, right hip up, left hip up. How is the rolling from left to right on the pelvis, from the 3 to the 9, from the right side to the left side? Are you able to really go straight between 3 and 9? 3 and 9. You're laying on the floor, you're not lifting the hip. It's 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9. You can drop your arms for a minute. Let's just get the hip clear. 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9.
I'm balancing on my
Three.
backbone.
Yeah, I know.
I should bring an extra pillow for that.
3 and 9. I'll just give you a 3 and 9, 3 and 9. Good, and let go the hip. And let's do it again with the arms, with the shoulders. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Are your arms vertical? Are your elbows soft? And rest the arms, let them just stand there. And we're gonna lift number 3. And we're gonna lift the right side, the hip on the right side and the shoulder, and drop. And on the left, hip and shoulder and drop. And the right, hip and shoulder and drop. And on the left, hip and shoulder and drop. And keep on going from side to side. And as you get comfortable with the movement and you understand the lifting passively, like somebody's pulling your fingers and pulling your knee or the hip and drop, start paying attention to the spine rotating from the center of the vertebra to the side processes. So that from the bony parts of the vertebra that points backwards, that we can see through our skin, to the side of the vertebra, not further than that, only to the size of the vertebra. Are you moving the shoulder the same amount that you're moving your hip? To keep it only maybe half an inch. And rest the arms and rest the legs. And lift the arms again, and the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. And lift your right shoulder and lift your left hip. And drop the right shoulder and the left hip. And lift the left shoulder and the right hip. And drop. So we're doing opposition. Right shoulder, left hip. Pull and pull and pull and drop. And left shoulder and right hip. Get the little tension of pulling and then let it drop. And play with it. And don't speed up. Pull, feel that passive as if somebody pulled you on a string. Know how that tension feels like, and then know how the letting go feels like. And the reason I'm saying it, because we are so used to be in constant tension of our muscles that we don't know how to let go. And somebody says, relax. And you say, what do you mean? Go to the spa? Muscle work by sending orders from the brain for the muscle to contract. I think it's calcium that goes in there. And then it lets go when we don't contract. Find the quietness when you're not doing anything. Enjoy that moment before you start doing, when you know that your intention is to do. Just to repeat what you already know and you do every day all the time here is a waste of your time, because you already know it. We're looking for maybe something new that we have forgotten, that we haven't used. A new possibility. When do we use the opposition of the right hip and the left arm? In every step, right? This is how we go. So once you find it and it's comfortable, see if you can shift from side to side and make it like you're walking towards the ceiling. See yourself either with your eyes open or closed, trying to reach up towards the ceiling in a very comfortable way. Opposite shoulder to the hip, opposite shoulder to the hip. Can you walk like this for the whole day without getting tired? Are your arms hanging vertically so there's the least effort with against gravitation? And let it all go. And lengthen your legs. And let's go to the very beginning of the class, where you compared between the right side and the left side, the right ankle and the left ankle, your right knee to the left knee, your right hip to the left hip, your right side of the back to the left side of your back, your right shoulder to the left shoulder, your right arm to the left arm. Where is your head? How are you now laying on the floor? Has anything changed? Can you translate it into words? And if you can, that's fine. I mean, don't have to. It's not standardized testing. But how much awareness do you have to slight changes or to the comfort that you have within yourself and the relationship within your body? And when you're ready, roll to a side and slowly come up to a sitting. And from a sitting, slowly to standing up.